Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to...
Oh.
Wow.
I dropped my phone. Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Rats on Film, the show where a bunch of film rats talk about and rank movies. I was going to say chat about.
To talk about.
Chat about movies. And today on the show, when the world needed us most, we did not vanish. We are here to do a little rat chat about Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender. Just came out on Paramount Plus and in theaters if you're in New York and Los Angeles. On the show with me today, I have Johnny.
Long ago, the four rats lived in harmony, but then everything changed when Dylan attacked.
That's true.
Dylan.
Why'd you do that, dude?
Jordan.
Yep.
Nice. And I'm your host, Xander. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Did I say hi?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, hi.
Yeah,
I'm Dylan.
you responded.
Resident firebender, I guess.
You took credit for the attack.
An evil lord.
There are four of us, and there's four elements. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
We're loving Avatar.
That's true, yeah.
Long time
So if
fans.
Dylan's fire, what are the rest of us?
Fire.
It's probably the most important question you could ask somebody is what kind of bender would
Johnny,
you be?
Johnny, where are you?
Like, what do I want to be or what do I think I am? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think what do you think
having
you
that
are?
debate as well.
What do you think you
I
are?
think you are.
I think that I'm water,
Love.
and I want to be water. It kind of works out.
I think that I'm Earth, but I'd like to be air.
Interesting. I would like to be water, but I'm probably also fire.
I think Jordan is the actress from the Ember Island Players that's like, I'm tear bending. I think that's Jordan. But yeah, fire, but I would like rarely use my fire and I would just shoot lightning at everybody.
Yeah, I think if you were going to hang out with Dylan, you'd have to learn the lightning redirect pretty quick.
Yeah. That's why I would like to be water, so I could just drown him.
And I would
Drown
zap
his
you.
powers.
I would zap you.
You guys are immediately abusing your powers.
Who
The
would?
lying turtle looks down in shame.
Well, they're all dead, so.
I said looks down.
So yeah, Johnny's right. We're all big time Avatar: The Last Airbender fans. Loved the show. Ooh, one of the best ever. And it's exciting that they've made a feature length movie.
And they made a whole ass studio to make more shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that there was another show coming out, but that's cool.
And other
Yeah, and
movies
it's
too.
soon. Yeah, I was reading there's 2 other movies in development and then at least 2 shows. One of them is coming out this year.
Very cool. Very exciting. I think there's a lot of potential. I think the way that they've told all of the stories so far, excluding Korra because I haven't seen it, but
Big
like
fan.
the Avatar, I know.
Fake ass fan.
Korra.
To be fair, like I didn't even watch Avatar as a kid, so I'm backtracking and I've watched the first 3 seasons and then I watched the first half of the first season of Korra and then just fell off. But I like it. But anyway, I think that there's a lot of room to explore this world, and I don't think they've backed themselves into a corner the way Star Wars, for example.
If you like
has.
Korra so much, why'd you stop watching it halfway through the first season? Sounds like you're bending the
I
truth.
got busy.
Sounds like you're bending the fucking truth.
We watched this from like the day it came out, and I feel like Nickelodeon used to very frequently do a marathon of this. And I think almost any time the marathon was on, we would just watch the entire show up until whatever point it was
Yeah.
at.
I think it's one of the defining shows of our generation.
I would
one
agree
of the
with that.
like
I think
greatest
so as
pieces
well.
of fiction of our generation, genuinely.
Yeah, I just remember being a kid and I was like, I don't know, like I feel like even now I'm like not the most like I don't need like representation to like feel a story and like internalize it. But when I was a kid, I was like, oh, even if they don't say it, like they say like Southern Water Tribe and like Air Tribe, I was like, these people are Asian and I kind of dig it. Like the lore seems so like, and I was like, this was like a world with like just Asians and like Native American people. I was like, this is so kind of interesting to watch. And then I feel like a lot of my sense of humor came from Avatar.
Yeah, the show is really funny. And also representation matters.
No, it's definitely
Okay.
true about the Asian thing because like
Yeah.
Tanner and I were watching, Ninja Turtles, which gave you a little bit, and then we were watching Jackie Chan Adventures, but that was not.
Tea.
But like that was a good show, but it wasn't. Everybody was not watching that. You know what I mean? So we were clamoring
Hollywood-
for it. Some
Yeah,
representation.
the only
That's true.
other one that I can think of is Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Hollywood was like okay with Asian people as long as they were turtles and a rat in the sewer. They were like, that sounds good.
Hey, we got Asian rats here. We like that. So now, I mean, the show came out a long time ago now, which is kind of crazy to think about. And now we've got the first film. So we'll do a little non-spoiler reaction, and then we'll do spoilers. Did you guys all like the movie?
Yeah,
Loved.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, excellent.
Loved it.
Yeah, I was really impressed by it. I feel like it's everything I could have probably wanted it to be when they announced that they were doing it and that they were going to revisit Team Avatar and like the Aang era. I don't necessarily think it was like mind blowing, but I thought it was just like excellent across the board. I thought everything about it was really good.
Best legacy sequel since Top Gun Maverick. I think for sure, right?
The thing about legacy sequels is you always are a little bit nervous, even if you're excited
Yeah.
to see the thing again, because so much time has passed and different people are working on. I'm sure some same people, but I think probably mostly different people, right? And like, how much respect are they going to give to something that you really care about? And are they going to butcher the characters? And then you're going to have your own headcanon that it never happened. That's happened to me many
That's
times,
it, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Same.
And everybody. But I really do think they do a good job. Like, I agree that it's not the most mind-blowing movie ever, but all of the characters and the world and everything stays intact and continues in a way that makes sense and is satisfying.
It really feels like the show. Like, I mean, like you said, the characters feel the same. I think the tone, we're talking about the sense of humor being like a big part of the show that we liked. I think that's really well intact here.
Yeah.
It was really good at honoring what I love, and I think a lot of people love about the show, and then going a step further and showing you a little bit of a different part of the characters that you like's life.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love the like because I feel like I'm a little nostalgic for it, but I used to love as a kid when you would have a favorite like an anime or a cartoon show, and then they were like on Saturday, here's the movie, and then you watch the movie version of it where it's like Pokemon 2000 or Sailor Moon, where it's like a little bit more budget and it looks a little nicer, and you're like, oh, I'm like watching cinema because it feels like they're taking something that's like a little simplified and they're like putting a lot of effort into it. So that's what I like, and that's how I felt about this movie. Like, I love the characters and the story so much, but like the original show is so like 2D in a way. Like, it's very like straightforward animation, and this one is like every shot a painting. I was like, it's so beautiful, and I love that it's beautiful, plus I'm experiencing my favorite characters do their thing.
I mean, I think it looked more than a little better than the show. It looked significantly better. Like,
it was visually incredible.
The animation is insane. The camera work is insane. Like, the camera is moving every single shot.
Some of the lighting work too is really good.
I love like a daylight moment where things are lit by daylight, and they do it a lot in this this movie. And I was like, I love this. I like love that it's like not just like flat Aang walking in, like he's passing through like sunbeams and stuff like that.
Well, they did such a cool job to your point about like the moving camera, Johnny, where the characters are still 2D, but there's a lot of 3D elements in the world, the environments and stuff like that allows them, when they're moving the camera, I don't know, everything just feels really I mean, the action design in here was great, and they're very kinetic scenes throughout the entire thing. But also, they still kept the 2D characters. They still feel like the characters that we know and love. So it was a really good blend.
Too.
I think especially when you're dealing with like magical MacGuffins and like, you know, something that's not really grounded in reality, to try to like understand as an audience the screen language, the movement on screen, but also like the representation of what like colors and light mean when they're fighting and stuff like that. It's just like really easy to digest in this movie. Like, you understand basically what they're going for at all times. Like when they are we still no spoilers? Wait.
Yeah, we should go into spoilers.
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
We can go into spoilers. Go ahead, Johnny.
Just one last thing on the cameras. Like, yeah, they're using 3D cameras and 3D lights, and it makes it way more difficult to do. But because they do it with such good choreography and such good planning, it turns out really amazing. And it has so much parallaxing, which brings it to the next level that the 2D show never had.
So no spoiler review. Thumbs up, recommend from all four rats.
For sure.
Yes.
I think if you can see it in a theater, you should see it in a theater.
Yeah, 100%.
I know that's so hard.
We were lucky enough that the three of us,
for sure,
Dylan and Jordan,
I wish
I
everyone saw it in that format.
It was hard to get tickets. We almost weren't able to.
Yeah.
And I was locked in.
This is a fucked up segment of the podcast.
I was like, I'm not watching it on the couch.
Big misplay by Paramount. All right, spoiler alert. If you've not seen the movie yet, we're going to talk full spoilers now. Jordan, you want to continue your spoilery thought?
Yeah, I don't even know where I left off, but basically just the way that they used color and like the lighting to show the magic effects and like the changing of hands of like when they're dealing with the staff. Yeah, like when like evil starts to seep into Aang, like it's just so basic, but it's really clear when like red means bad. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's done really well in this, but also it's like visually stunning. Like it's like arresting in some of those magic scenes.
From the open of the film, Aang going to the temple, that first action sequence, I was like, oh my God, like on the edge of my seat with just the visual design of the film. And I feel like it just escalated throughout until it gets to, the scene you're talking about towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, that scene being like the opening scene is so good because of like the camera placement, the camera movement, like you guys were talking about, just also the choreography itself, like using the airbending and all of the bending in that scene to like communicate that these people are coming into his thing trying to steal the map inside the totem. But
it's just so dynamic with many different characters.
Yeah.
Like the planning is just incredible.
There's always that like that moment in a movie where you like shift forward where you're like, I'm watching this movie.
In.
You're like locked in. And to me it was like when the new intro started and it's like Katara under the moon.
Yeah,
and
I
was
really
like,
liked that
yo,
too.
I was like, wait a minute, we got a budget. We got 4K budget right now. And I was like, this is amazing.
Dylan, I also flagged this because I loved that sequence too. I thought that was so smart and so well done to be this sort of callback to one of the most iconic show intros for me of all time, but then also to use it as a storytelling device to show the characters aging. Like, hey, these are the characters that you knew and loved. Here they are now. It has the exact same energy of it, and I thought it worked really well to like set up the movie.
When Aang like shoots the air and then it's not him anymore. It's like the old Aang. I was like, they're cooking with sauce. Oh my God, I'm scared.
Well, and that's the thing too about like legacy sequels is that so many times I'm thinking like Incredibles 2, for example. I guess it's not a legacy sequel, but just a long-awaited sequel. And they started it the second after the first one ended. But I don't think anybody wanted that. You know what I mean? People want to see those characters older after so much time has passed. And they did it really well where they're better benders, they're more mature, but they still feel like the same character. You know what I mean? And some of the best part about Avatar is seeing them over the course of the show become better benders. And better warriors, and it's cool to push that further and like do a little bit of a time jump and like, wow, they're doing fucking awesome shit that you always kind of imagined they would do as adults.
Yeah, I like that this one didn't really reinvent the wheel. Like it didn't really give anyone a new arc. It just kind of elaborated on their last, like the way they ended. Like no one really went through a catastrophic change. There was no Luke Skywalker moment or like redemption arc for Azula in this. Like there was just kind of was more of what you expected, but in a fun and games way, which I think was satisfying for me.
Well, I think Aang goes through a really, really interesting and good arc, but nobody else does. But I think that is one potential negative of the movie is that like the other characters besides Aang don't really have that much to do. They're kind of just there. But I will say like it's clear that the movie is about Aang, and I think that's fine. And his arc is very well done in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough thing. Talking about a show into a movie, you got a lot more screen time in a show to dedicate episodes to certain characters and give people arcs over one episode or a couple episodes or whatever. And yeah, I definitely don't think they even attempted to give any of the other Team Avatar characters any sort of arc here. But I don't think that hurts the movie because they kept the characters really true to
that's
how I feel about them. Yeah, and I felt like I was glad to see the gang back together, and like that was enough for me. And then the Aang arc is enough to be like the emotional center of the film.
Yeah, they each have like a little gimmick through the movie, and I think Sokka's is actually the best, where he kind of has his little bike that he's invented. I actually think that's a really great gimmick because I think the payoff that all the benders are like surrounded by the non-benders that denied, and then he kind of comes in and rescues the day as a non-bender. Do you know what I mean? I think that was really cool and satisfying.
I'm going to ask you guys because you've all watched the movie twice and I've only watched it once, but I was a little confused about who the Denied were. Like were they just people who didn't have bending
they were just
abilities
pissed
that
off.
decided to make like a gang, like a cult, basically?
There isn't more to it. They're not from Korra or anything like that. Like they're just
But like
introduced in this.
Sokka is not a Denied. He's just someone who like they just created that name.
It's just a group of like extremists.
It's just a group of people who are pissed off about it.
Okay.
I think they explore that a lot in Korra, where it's like there's a lot of like, it's not fair that just because you have quote unquote superpowers that you get to be the president of the United States or things like that. Like that's how the world has shaped itself to be in the Avatar world. And there's a lot of people that are like, it's not fair. I was just born this way. So like, we deserve a voice, but like you're just a person. So they talk about that more. So I thought it was interesting that they
it's like superheroes kind of.
Yeah.
I probably found the Denied to be the weakest part of the film.
I agree.
Just
they were the worst part.
They kind of have to be there because they get the plot going, but then they're not really expounded upon in any way. And then we're in spoilers, but like the ally that becomes the main antagonist ends up being a way more interesting antagonistic force for the film and foil for Aang than the Denied do. They kind of just are minions to fight at the end. But I agree with you about the Sokka part. I do like that he is that moment of saving the day with his little bike.
I think the Denied are easily the worst part about the film. It's not like they're terrible or anything, but it's kind of a retread from Korra, and it's done better in Korra. I know that's a show they have more time, but it's done a lot better.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That like in Korra, they explore this, but like the villain is so much more interesting and complex. That I think in this movie I was like, oh, I've seen this already.
Well, and I just felt like it didn't really make sense because the Denied, like it makes sense that the Denied want power because they don't have power in a bending world, but they had a specific grudge against Aang and the Avatar, talking about, oh, he was like asleep for 100 years and all this stuff happened. It's like, but you guys aren't that old. It doesn't really make sense. Like it didn't actually affect you that much because we just looked it up. If Aang is 25 and he was 13. Like
none of them would have been alive for that.
Yeah, like the girl who's like the nice one of them, she seems like she's like 15 years old. She wouldn't have even really been alive. Like I don't think it made a sense that they had such a grudge against Aang. I think if they connected it more to the city and Aang's responsibility to the city and making it a good place for everybody to live versus his obsession with airbenders and bringing airbenders back would have been a nice thing to do for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think from Aang's perspective, it's a really good arc, though, for him to be like being obsessed with bringing back airbending because he feels guilty for his part in the airbenders going extinct and then kind of realizing that like the culture can live on in different ways and he won't be the last person to interact with the culture.
Yeah, I agree. I think it speaks to something that I think is really powerful about culture, that it is about shared experience more than anything else. And he has kind of twisted himself a little bit into thinking that like he needs his people back, the people who can also bend air, but that's actually not all that it was to be one of the air nomads. Like there was a lot more to it, and trying to remember all of those pieces of it, I think that is quite a nice message.
Yeah, I think so too. Like just having a bunch of random adults who never were air nomads have airbending brings nothing back.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and especially, what's Dave Bautista's name? Taga. Like, Taga is warping what it means to be an airbender. Like he has the power, but he doesn't stand for anything that the airbenders that Aang knew stood for. So, well,
and so, yeah, like to the point about the Denied are weak, I think Taga is a great antagonist and a great villain.
He's a good.
For exactly what you just said, Jordan, the fact that he is on some level everything that Aang wants. Oh my God, another airbender. I'm not the last one anymore. Like that's been his defining characteristic. I mean, it's the title of the show. It's the title of this movie. That's all he's ever wanted. And then he realizes that this guy actually is not an airbender in any way other than the fact that he can physically bend air. Mm-hmm. And the realization of what's actually important, I think it's really well done to have those two characters kind of be, at odds with each other to come around on that character arc.
Yeah, and I think there's just a lot to unpack in Avatar as a series, but also this movie. Like there are so many layers of grief and tragedy and abuse of power. Like the story here, much like the real world, is very layered, and like people are dealing with actions that have like significant consequences. And like there was a throwaway line to Zuko that I really liked where one of the denied was like, what do you know about anything? Like, you sit on a throne that was built from 100 years war. Zuko didn't have anything to do with the war necessarily. He was a child. Like, his dad was the leader. But it's true. Like, the whole system that he benefits from is built on that 100 years war and everything that happened before that. And like, I mean, like, what are you to do? But yeah, it's just a lot to unpack. And I think the show and the writing in this movie, like, they handle some pretty big topics in a way that's approachable and like makes you think, and especially for like kids to watch. Like, we watched the show as kids, and well, I didn't, but you guys did. And like, I don't know, those throwaway lines, like, it doesn't feel like it's dumbed down, you know?
Yeah, I like that in this movie, and with all the Avatar stuff, it's like in this movie it's the Earthbenders that ruined Taga's world, and then in the show it's like the Firebenders, but it's like all about like everyone has their own experience with different things, and you internalize that in a different way. Like, Aang's like, I don't know why you're so angry at the Earthbenders, and Taga's like, well, they killed my whole family, so I should be. I think that's a good thing to teach kids, to be like, people are evil when they're evil, and it's not like representative of a people, but like an experience is an experience, so you internalize that. Like, I like when they talk about things like that, and I also like when the other characters are there to be like, not all Earthbenders are bad because Toph is like really nice and cute, or not all Firebenders are bad because Zuko is like the kindest man ever. He's just like a little damaged, you know? Mm-hmm. So I like all that like interplay of politics and getting to know people and things like that.
Well, and the thing about it that makes it really good, on like everything you guys are saying, from the Zuko line about him sitting on the throne, but also Taga and his experience. I feel like what the movie really is about is that you can't go back and change the past, and you can't be reactionary in a violent way towards the past. The only thing you could do is try to move forward through peace and positivity. And that's like what Aang needs to do. And that's what sets him apart from previous avatars and previous leaders, is that Taga wants, because he's looking at it like, it's not that I want to kill everybody else, but I will kill everybody else if I have to preserve airbenders, right? That's what makes him a good villain. And it's the same thing with like Zuko, right? He sits on a throne built from all this stuff, but he can't change that. All he could do is go forward and try to be the best, most benevolent emperor he can be. And it's the same for Aang as well. Like, I think that that's a good message.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the Katara line to the denied, right? Where the girl who ends up turning good, I can't remember her name, says, the world hasn't been kind to me. And Katara says back, the world is what we make it. I think that's exactly speaking to that point, Johnny. It's like, you have to move forward. And yeah, the nuance here is really brilliant, because to your point about Taga, like, you don't agree necessarily with his methods, but you understand how he arrived at his way of thinking. He has the negative reaction, and, you know, Aang is showing you the other side of the coin. And I think, you know what I was really struck by? I noticed it more the second time I watched it, but something that I love about the show is the fact that it's this group of kids that ultimately ends up saving the day. They team up together, and they complement each other, and they bring different things to the table and different life experience and different perspectives. I really loved in this, as a progression for Aang's character, that in the end, when he's getting a little bit corrupted by the staff, his friends all see that, and Katara comments on it.
Something's wrong.
She says something's wrong. But she doesn't call out to him and stop him.
He
stops him. He stops himself. And I thought that was great character growth from Aang, to not need to lean on his friends to do the right thing all the time, to actually like think about who he is as a person and what he knows the air nomads to be as people and what they stood for, and realize what Taga didn't realize, which is that he's doing the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. And he stops himself. I thought that was brilliant and really, really good.
And subtle, kind of.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him a good avatar, though, because not a lot of other avatars in the past had been kind of violent, kind of reactionary, the way that Taga was. It's the point, like, the point of it is that at some point, somebody needs to stop and be like, we need to forgive the past and forgive yourself. And break the cycle and try to move forward in a positive way. Not everything can be vengeful or defensive or proactive to attack next. You know what I mean? All these things are what is causing this endless fighting.
I mean, I think obviously in the show, like, Zuko and Aang's relationship is a great example that like people can redeem themselves and not just carry on the generational violence that they are entitled to, basically. and that like Zuko's a child, but he makes the last right decision, you know, like,
Right.
and I think that's a good message to take from the show. And then that carries over here, like that they've continued to build their relationship.
And Aang defends Zuko to Taga too, in exactly the way that you're saying.
Yeah.
Like Taga straight up
Yeah, he
asks him
trusts
about it,
him.
where he's like, "How could you be friends with a Fire Nation, the Fire Lord, when they killed all your people?" And he's like, "Oh, he betrayed his father to do the right thing, and he helped me, and he's a dear friend." Like it's showing the strength of Aang's character and how he's learned.
Yeah, and their growth, like they literally were. I mean, he says it, he was my enemy, but like they were, you know, like we've seen it. So it is, you know, a powerful message that people can work through things and do the right thing.
Yeah, I think once there was like multiple beats during the movie. Maybe at like the 3/4 point, I was like, was this directed by a woman?
Yes, well, yes.
It was. And I was like, that makes sense. I was like, that's why there's all this like anger and trauma has a like a reflectiveness to it, and it's not just like an action scene for the sake of being an action scene. But I at multiple times through the movie, I was like, oh, a girl directed this. It's like she was doing it for the girls in the game. But
yeah, I mean,
to that point,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, I love that everything felt so like meditative reflectiveness on like war and anger and being like element Jesus, like what that means to people, like, and how scary that is.
Yeah, I got to bring up the elephant in the room.
Go ahead.
Why were they all hot?
You want them to be ugly?
No, but like they're all so hot. You know what I mean? They all got yassified positive.
When I rewatched it, one of my notes was, I love that there's plot reasons for them to all have a shirt off at one point in time.
Sokka and Zuko specifically. Okay.
It was
I
like
loved-
very bad.
I loved Sokka's tale about how
I love that too.
So good.
Was a hero. Again, like it really
Just
kept
looks like
the
a fucking
humor.
Chad.
Yeah. It's so
Giga
true to
Chad, the
Sokka
Giga
too.
Chad.
He's like
part.
handsome Squidward.
Yeah.
Sokka is so good.
No, it's so true to like who Sokka is as a character too. He's explaining like his life story to the little kids, and they're just like, "Ew, you're a loser." And then he's like, "See, the Avatar called me." It's just so funny.
I actually thought the voice acting was good as well, talking about the
Yeah,
characters.
we should bring this
Because
up.
when it
Yes.
first started, like I kind of was like, I don't know, like having a little bit of a hard time adjusting to it. And actually, interestingly enough, I think the one that I was the most iffy about was that they changed Zuko's voice actor. I was like, they should have just kept Dante Basco. But I will say, I
Yeah.
kind of think Steven Yeun was the closest, weirdly.
He
like,
did a
it made
great
the most
job.
sense to me.
I honestly thought they were all really good. I thought every one of them embodied the characters well.
Yeah, they really did.
They didn't sound exactly the same, but they felt like they were emoting the characters properly. And so like shout outs to the whole cast, because it definitely was a little bit of a red flag. You know, you said it earlier, Johnny, right? When a legacy sequel comes out, you get excited, but you also get a little bit nervous. And I was definitely nervous when they said they were recasting people. I understand why. I think it's probably a good thing that they were recasting to be get some Asian representation in the cast here, which wasn't really done before.
Other than Dante
Other than
Basco.
Dante Basco.
Yeah, that's why that was the one I was like kind of iffy about. And I'm not saying maybe it would have been better with Dante too, but I actually thought that Steven Yeun was actually the best out of all of them.
Yeah, he was really good. I enjoyed his
Love Steven Yeun.
vocal performance.
They did great.
I feel like I was iffy too, but then when Toph was like,
Toph
"I'm the
was
greatest
amazing.
Earthbender in the world,"
So
I was
good.
like, I missed you, Queen. I was
I
like,
thought
where have
Toph
you
was
been?
amazing, and Katara's was also amazing because
Yeah, Katara's
there
was
was
very good.
there was a thing always about Katara's character in the original where she was both like very serious, but then also sometimes like very snarky and sarcastic. Like she would kind of go between those two modes. And in the movie, she's serious for most of the time. But there was one scene where she was snarky for a second, and like a little bit of that side of Katara, and I thought she nailed both of them.
Yeah, I feel like old Aang, regardless, even if they got the same person back, like they would have had to change it a little bit for the age. So
Once she was healing his back with his shirt off, I was like, I don't care who the last thing was. I was like,
I like that he
What-
still
what?
had the scar too. I think that was a perfect example of how they really put a lot of effort into preserving the show as a continuation and didn't just ignore details. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love all the very little callbacks to the original show. Like, I feel like the most
Cabbage
obvious
guy.
one is the
The
Cabbage
cabbages.
Man. Like,
Yeah.
everybody knows the Cabbage Guy.
Yeah.
But even like when we were talking about like, when Qatar is like unveiling the new Republic City, and there's like that guy that's like crying, and he's like,
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
has a
he was there.
baby.
Yeah, that was cute.
I was like, I love this. It's like they all exist in the same world, and apparently. I was Sokka's like talking to the three kids, and they
Mhm.
look like Korra's parents.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
interesting.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
interesting.
I did.
That's
I did
fun.
not
That's a
catch
fun
There's like
that.
the
little-
mom and the dad and the Unalaq, who's the
Interesting.
uncle.
I didn't catch
Yeah,
that.
Oh, that's
cool.
cute. I didn't realize that.
So people are like, it's connected, but like in very like not
Subtle
Star
ways.
Warsy ways, where it's
Yeah.
like, are you Jedi Solo? Hello.
Yeah,
Like
they
it's
did
like
it
really
well.
subtle and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the Kyoshi Warriors get a shot at the end.
Secret Tunnel guy was
Yeah.
there too.
I mean, to me, it's a 5-star movie, but I will say, where was my Queen Azula? I know she's spiraling in the
Yeah,
woods
She's in the
somewhere.
she's in the insane asylum.
She's spiraling somewhere, and I wish
She's
they
st-
teased it a
she's
little.
still laughing.
Chained up.
I love her. She could get out.
I don't know how much more we have to talk about, but you know what scene I loved? I loved the scene with the ship
Yeah, that was one
About
of
to
the best scenes
crash.
in the movie.
and Aang and Taga clearing the tornadoes because I loved
Yeah, yeah.
I
That's
loved
really good.
Team Avatar collaborating
Yeah.
and all of them working together. Again, I just was like, it's like basic cinema tropes. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, no, it's like the
they're
Scooby
just
Gang,
about-
like literally.
they're just about to
Yeah,
crash, and he's like, "Oh, I'll fire the engines now." But
Yeah.
I ate it up.
But I will
loved
say,
it.
like,
So good.
while I could see what you're saying, where it's basic, the way it was shot was so fucking dynamic.
Yeah, it
Like
was incredible.
the ship turning sideways and Sokka's running
Yep.
on the wheel, and Katara's on the outside, like separating the water, like she's fucking Moses. That was badass. Like,
Yeah, it was sick
no,
as
but
hell.
like
She splits the
all
sea.
the action in this is so well choreographed and dynamic. I mean, I keep using that word, but it's the only word to describe.
No,
it.
it's so accurate. It was
Like,
brilliant.
yeah, it was so
Crispy.
well done.
I just in all my notes, I was like, this animation is crisp.
Yeah. I mean, all of it. The opening sequence, that sequence, the final fight. You know, when the spirit world is coming into Republic City, it looks brilliant. And then the kineticism of everything and just how visually interesting, but also legible it is. I think is really tough to achieve.
I feel like when I watch it, like I just like gasp or like I get gagged when like little things where like Qatar like freezes his hand in the
Mhm,
thing.
mhm.
I was like, ooh, gag me. I was like, that's so cool. Or like when Toph is like fighting the airbenders and she like just puts the shield over it, but it's like
Yes.
a split frame where you don't see anything happen and you're just like, ah, they're so cool. I love
And
them.
the creativity is so good. Like even Toph putting knight's armor on herself, like
Sick.
Zuko flying around by shooting fire out of his feet. Like they're really creative. They don't just do the same things over and over again. Every fight is different.
Yeah, I think the humor was really good as well. I know we're talking about like
No,
the,
I was just
the
gonna bring up
strength
the
of
humor, too. I agree
the
with
story.
you.
Yeah, like I know we mentioned the Sokka bit being really funny, but like the Toph bit, the Taika Waititi character,
Baby Toph.
yeah,
Baby
baby
Toph,
Toph, like that whole there were a lot of good comical moments like sprinkled in that were similar to the show and kept me laughing throughout
What?
the movie.
And to speak about the comedy in the animation, we were speaking about the action in the animation. They used
The chibi style.
the visual,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
visual
yeah. I was so
style
happy to
of the
see that
chibi
again.
style from the show here as well to accent the comedy, and I love to see that. And again, a huge shout out to the animation team. Like they really brought their A game to all parts of it, and they used the medium really well to like accent all these things.
yeah.
I was gonna say I like how the humor kind of aged up with us because as a kid or a whatever tween whatever, like I really identified with Toph and I was like, I think I'm her. Like she gives
She's
my
done with bad boys,
she
Dylan.
gives my attitude. And then in this movie where she's like she's like, I can tell he's really hot based on the vibrations.
I
was
love
like
that bit.
I was like, that is me. I was like, she grew up in the same like parallel as me.
Yeah, Toph is great. The baby Toph moment and like when Zuko and Katara are old and they're like, oh, that old couple. And they're like, we're not a couple.
This
Yeah, that was
Tara-
funny.
This Tara stance
I loved that. That was for me specifically.
Yeah, it was great. I'm thrilled that they made it. I really can't wait to see what else Avatar Studios makes.
Yeah, I was really impressed.
I personally want them to make more with these characters. I'm like interested in the other ones too, but I don't want it to be like, this is it. I would watch more movies with them around this age.
I'm torn with that because part of me is like, yeah, this one was great and I want to see more. And then part of me is also like, we know how most of their stories end because Korra exists and I don't need to see every day in between. And I just, you run the risk every time you fill in gaps. This one was successful for me and I really enjoyed it. But I think every time that they add like new entries, like there's just more of a risk that you can.
I know, but you could have said that about this
up.
one and then
Taint.
you loved it. You know what I
No,
mean?
totally.
Oh, so if they made one about Zuko where Zuko was the main character, you wouldn't be fucking foaming at the mouth for that?
I would watch it, but I mean,
Going to find Zuko's mom.
I kind of caught you there.
As long
I kind of fucking
as long
caught
as
you
his shirt gets burned off in the first 15 seconds. We'll
okay,
watch
I'm
it.
listening. Guys, I'm seated. I'm listening.
I do know what you mean. Like, there's definitely always a cautiousness around. You can do too much of a good thing, but also
No, I don't want them to make like 1 million, but I'm just saying, like, if there was, I think there are definitely more good stories that could be told there.
It also feels like one of those things that's like to me, sometimes it makes me feel like I'm in the Matrix because I'm like, when I was a kid, like Avatar was like one, if not the best shows ever that came out when I was a kid. It was like Teen Titans and That's So Raven and Avatar. Like that's what I was watching. And then when you just like meet people our age who have like never seen it, I'm like,
where
what
were you?
I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't know about this? And they're like, no. Like, what was it on? I was like, what do you mean? What was it on? It was on Nick Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Where were you? I was like, what are you talking about?
That is so real.
I'm like, what are you talking
And
about?
then you firebend them, and they're like, what is that?
But then it like
burnt.
And then it came out on Netflix in COVID, and everyone's like, "This is the best show that ever came out
Yeah,
in my
that's
life."
so true.
And I was like, "I've been saying that. What are you talking about? I was like, where were you? What were you watching? There was
Lizzie
nothing else
McGuire.
to watch." Okay, but there was
Kim
a
Possible.
lot of other half hours for you to watch it. So I just like, I think it's one of those shows where it's like, I can't tell if like I'm hyperbolizing it in my own head, where I'm like, this is the best show I've ever seen in my life. Because I even think I was there for the pilot. I remember
We definitely were.
Yeah, I remember it coming out. I remember it being a brand new show.
Yeah, I remember the teaser where they're like, he was stuck on the ice and then they
Yep.
broke him out, and like it was like the orange banner that said Nickelodeon on the bottom. And then I watched it every week until it ended. And then I even watched Korra online.
I remember too being like so obsessed with the penguin sliding because that was like in the first
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
And I feel like they really advertised that because that was a thing you could show kids and be like, also with the bending.
He's
but
fun.
that was like a fun, cool thing. You're like, oh, cool. I want to watch the penguin riding show. And that's like not what it's about at all. But
I was a turtle duck stan.
this movie is great. And we're giving it big cheese
The big
rat
cheese.
stars.
The big cheese.
big cheese.
Is that what it's called?
The
Yeah.
biggest cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, huge recommend from the Foam Rats. Definitely check it out, especially if you're an Avatar: The Last Airbender fan. Like if you're like us and you like the show, I think the movie is definitely something you'll enjoy.
Big
Especially
wheel
if
of
you live here.
Parmesan. You guys ever think about cheese bending?
Ooh, cheese bending.
What element
There's
would
probably
that be?
water and cheese.
It's
probably like an
water.
offshoot of water bending.
It's
Or
kind of
earth.
every element put together if you think about it.
Is cheese a solid? Yeah.
Is
guess.
cheese
Is
kind
cheese
of
a solid?
the thing that brings balance to all
Binds
bending?
all
It's not
elements in.
always a solid. You
Yeah.
laughed, but like it can
Cottage
be
cheese,
liquid.
yeah, it's kinda liquid.
You literally laughed at me. You laughed at me when I asked that.
Well, because my brain was like, it's not a gas.
Well,
Cheeses can be gas. Cheese can be gas.
It's not a plasma.
Okay,
But
there's
it
no
can be
fucking
a
plasma
liquid.
benders, first of all. I think cheese is the thing that binds all bending. I have some advice for the audience. If you have somebody in your life that you really, really don't like, you should ask them, oh, what kind of bender do you think you'd be? Like, what kind of avatar bender would you be? And no matter what they say, then afterwards you should say, oh, I kind of always thought you'd be like not a bender. But only do it if you really don't like the person. And when you think about it like that, the denied are kind of valid.
Hey guys, that one's free.
it's like the equivalent of being called a Hufflepuff. You know what I mean?
I think
real.
it's worse. I think it's worse. That's the equivalent of being like, what house would you be in Harry Potter? I don't
Like,
think you'd get the
You're a
letter.
muggle. You're a muggle, man.
I don't think you'd get the letter.
I don't think that one came.
All right, hey, thanks for listening to Rats on Film, everybody. Let us know what you thought about the movie. Let us know what type of bender or non-bender you would be. Follow us, Rats on Film Pod, social media, Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, and we'll be back in a couple weeks. Actually, these four rats will be back next week to talk about
Most anticipated movie of the year.
Spider-Man: Brand New Day.
We'll be
Is
barking for
Spider-Man a
week.
web bender?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm bending for
Well,
Spider-Man.
especially in this new one. In the old ones, maybe not. In the last couple, maybe not.
Did you say you're bending over? Is that what you said?
I said I'm bending for Spider-Man.
Yeah, with that, I gotta go.
All right, see you guys then.
Bye.
Bye.